I think being intentional about the kind of connection you are looking for, I think those are very, very much important. Like, you may find a partner who's not about what you are about, right? And I think you also have to set your boundaries. Hey, Mr. Friends, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode, y'all. I'm your girl, Cece, and I'm joined by the co-host here. What's up, babe?
What's up?
Okay, I'm good.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Will, and welcome back to another episode of the Blissology Podcast. If this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe and hit on that bell as well, so you can be notified when videos like this one come out. This is a weekly podcast.
That's right.
In this podcast, we talk about...
Yes, love, life, family, and relationship. You guys know what it is. We're glad to see you here today. We're glad to have you with us today, and we're happy to be here. I'm happy to
Listen,
be here.
it's the second podcast of the year, and we're excited. It's 2024.
Y'all can tell I am. I got my voice back, okay?
We're looking to do different things. We have many reasons to be excited. And as always, before we get into today's topic, we're quickly going to jump in and share our blissful moments with you. So let's get into it.
That's right. Okay, babe. What's your blissful moment?
I celebrated my birthday earlier this week, and it was a good moment. Yes, the ladies took me out for breakfast. We went and checked out a few things, spent a whole day together.
Yeah, we did. We had a good time, and the kids and I would surprise him with breakfast. Yes.
We got that 10:25.
So yeah.
It was like 5 minutes before they stopped serving breakfast.
Yes, and I was like, girls, we just not going to go to class today. We going to take daddy out.
Yeah.
We have breakfast together, and then we go ahead and have lunch, and we had a good time at the mall. We had a good time. I feel like overall it was a great time. It was a great time.
Yeah, they made me drive all day. But it was our birthday, and someone had to get them to places anyway. But it was good. Hey, listen, I got younger. It's a blessing, and I thank God for allowing me to see this new younger age.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's good. My brother's is next week, and your dad's. Yeah, we have birthdays after birthdays.
We do.
And your dad's the week after.
That's right.
And then your nephew's in a couple of weeks after that.
Right. And then that's it. And then we'll take a break until May.
But yes. it's been a birthday thing since October. Since
August. Your mom.
Oh, well, we skipped September.
Well, then we did skip September, yeah. So October.
No, it's been consecutive from October, November, December, January, and
and then
a family of birthdays.
Yeah, so I'm glad you had a good time because in this family here, we don't want it to be where when it's daddy's birthday, we want to make sure we do something nice for him.
Yeah, I even got a mini cake.
Yeah,
I had a miniature cake.
Fight this man to get a cake. Although we do have a lot of cakes in the fridge, mind you, we had just celebrated my birthday.
Yeah, which you had a huge cake.
I had a huge cake.
We still have some of it left that we haven't finished eating.
And then parties that we went to, we had gotten some cake from parties.
In fact, I had a piece of it that I shouldn't have had the other night. It made me feel uncomfortable.
Very uncomfortable. And then my mom's, we got some cake from her too.
Oh, yes, we did.
For their anniversary. So we
really need to start working out.
Yeah. And I'm like, y'all, you know how it is with the New Year resolution? I told you guys last weekend, we not doing that. We don't have like, I gotta look good. I need to start losing weight. Although I am looking good. Thank you. Mm-hmm. But I feel like I'm not gonna start working out after the end of January.
Okay.
Reason being is because this weekend, later on today, we're going to a party, which is my sister-in-law's dad's birthday. So we're going to a party.
Oh, that party going to be
Although
lit.
we are going to, this is why I'm looking so fly, with the makeup, not the outfit. So, although I feel like we're going to have a lot of food, we're going to eat a lot of food and have cakes. And then after that, the next week is my dad's birthday.
Yeah.
And it's just
the week after is your dad. So next week's my brother's birthday.
That's right.
But I don't think we're having cake though, because my brother usually don't throw a party. But but if he does have a piece of cake that he offers me, I will have one.
Well, Of course.
No,
we
he
will.
doesn't eat cake.
This is why I'm starting my workout either the end of January or beginning of February, because I know
We have our anniversary on the 13th.
See, here we go. But we'll do moderation there because I cannot stay until. Listen, we gotta get into it, okay?
Yeah.
I need to make sure that I don't start workout and then before you know it, I gotta have like a big slice of cake or wine or whatever it is, because you know once you start working out and you start having this sweet stuff again, then you're gonna fall back. And I want to make sure I enjoy all the cake, all the sweets, all the wine that I need to drink. Then after that, no more until the next party. So I'm just gonna put it out there.
She's got a plan.
I do. You know?
Anyway, that's our blissful moment. That was my birthday and all the other parties we've had and we intend to have.
Yes.
So hey, listen, it's about enjoying the things we do and enjoying the moments we spend together. Yes, all of these things we do them together, and the kids are there as well. So it's a family thing.
Although on his birthday, I had like a cough attack. Apparently, that's what they called it.
Yeah,
because I'm
it was
still
weird.
fighting this cold.
She got attacked by a cough.
Yeah, it was just weird. It happened twice on his birthday, and I'm still congested, and it makes it so hard for me to, to talk.
Yeah.
But yeah.
She's going to get better. After tonight, after attending this party later today.
Listen, I was told by my sister-in-law I better get better because I'm turning up tonight. So we'll see about that.
Anyway,
we'll
so that's our blissful moments. And hopefully you had a good week as well.
Yes. Obviously, we're still party here in this house,
Anyway, so hey, listen, before we get into today's topic, I just want to say thank you to all of you guys who's been listening and joining us every Saturday in the journey.
Right.
If you haven't, again, already subscribed, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Please leave us a review. We appreciate it. Leave us some comments, some feedback. That means the world to us. So now let's get into the topic of the day. Let's talk about godly relationship.
That's right. Godly relationship, y'all. This is a big one.
And listen, I'm feeling blessed and excited to get into today's discussion. I mean, we've talked about a lot of stuff in this podcast, but we have not talked about God
a few
in relationship. No, we haven't put these two together.
Yes.
Yeah, we've talked about our faith
and I truly feel like our content is going to be based on mostly godly relationship going forward. So
yeah. And listen, relationship can be like a maze to navigate. They get complicated. But you know what? When you put a little bit of faith in it, you can really put yourself in a position to really discover the beauty that exists in a relationship. Because
that's right.
Faith can make a big difference
yes.
in everything, not just relationship.
Yes.
Sometimes I put a little bit of faith in my cooking.
Okay. That's right.
Yes.
You got to.
Believe me.
You need it.
Sometimes I'm not sure how that's going to come out, but I believe
it's going to come out good.
And, they taste it and it seems normal.
Except for the mashed potato.
Hey, listen, to kick things off, what does a godly relationship mean? Mm-hmm. Really? I mean, especially in the context of, listen, we're millennials.
We are.
And if you speak to someone from the prior generation, they would tell you the way that we look at relationship is very different than they did in their days. So what does a godly relationship mean?
Well, to me, as you know, I'm very, very pretty deep in my spiritual life.
Okay.
Well, you know that.
Yeah, I do know that.
You seems like, oh, okay, I didn't know that.
I'm just confirming that's true.
So a godly relationship is to me, it's one that's grounded in love, compassion, and shared spiritual values. Just like we really did. I feel like when we were dating, we really had, there's some things that I was looking for and you had those things, right?
Okay.
Especially when it comes to our spiritual values. And I truly feel like it's about growing together, supporting each other's dreams, of course, and ultimately it's about walking in hands, as you know.
Yeah, and that's important. I mean, being able to share spiritual values takes a lot of effort.
It does.
Yeah. And
I really want a lot of us to know that it's not just about the things. Ladies, listen to me before we dive deep into the podcast. I really want you guys to know it's not about the things that you gotta have on your list. He needs to be tall and handsome and have a 6 figures or 7 figures, or he gotta have this, a nice car, live in his own. At the same time, he has to be a godly man. I truly feel like the number one thing on your list should be he has to be a godly man. Yes, millennials nowadays, there have been a lot of them, according to the stats. There's a lot of millennials who are very much single, and a lot of the Gen Zs who are very much single. But, and I think it's because they're not, me personally, that's just my opinion, they're not really looking at what God has for them, what God wants for them.
Yeah, it takes some growing. And I'll tell you, for me, I've grown spiritually more than I anticipated. Yes, at first, we met at church. And yes, I was a church-going person, but I was really, really, really shallow when it comes to faith. There's a lot of things that I didn't have until we start getting. Too. Oh yeah, I still am. I mean, like for instance, Bible reading. That's something I haven't gotten to the point of making it a common thing that I do every day. But I'd say since mid last year, we've been doing a Bible study where we involve not just ourselves but the kids. And that helps, because that helps me uncover things that I didn't know existed in the Bible.
Right.
And I'll tell you, that's one thing that will help you really grow your faith, because it's difficult to speak of faith when you're not educated about what God says. Because understanding God's words and putting yourself in a position to really, really, really absorb what's being shared with you in terms of God's word will definitely help you. Now, Cece's been pouring into me. The other day we were just talking, and she gave me a couple of verses. I think Proverbs 3 and verses,
and then Jeremiah
5 through 6. I can't believe I remember this.
That's right.
You know, and this is what's important to keep the words of God in your relationship, because I'll tell you, throughout the last 13 years we've been together, there's been many moments that we had to rely on our faith to get through.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, if you have one person is really a spiritual person and the other person isn't, then we have a mismatch. But if both of you can really find yourself at a level, not so much that you're at the same level where you understand, but you're willing and open to learning and to understand, it goes a long way. So as we look at our relationship, yes, faith has played a big part in us overcoming a number of different crazy challenges we've had to deal with.
Right.
And I gotta say, a lot of it is due to her, because man, listen, I was brought up in a family where we go to church, and yes, my mom is a very faithful person, but I had to do my own growing, and I did most of my growing in my current relationship.
Yes,
obviously I've gotten older and I've understand things better. As a young man, I probably didn't think the way that I do now. So I think a number of things contributed to this, but I'll tell you, I'm in a position now where I feel solid in what I believe in. And there's little craziness that's going on. They no longer trouble me because I know that there's a higher power, and I believe in a higher power to take care of me when things are happening. Now, I'm not saying be lazy either. I'm not the type of sits around and expect things to happen. Yes,
because
I want to do things.
Faith without works is
dead.
That's right.
Yes. So now, we got to look at the real world of godly relationship. How it's important to communicate, because communication is key.
Yes, which is something that we talked about a lot on the podcast.
Yeah, and we mentioned earlier, sharing spiritual values. You need to be able to communicate that. You need to be able to communicate your spiritual journey, because life is a journey. The relationship is a journey. You are going to different things. Now, you have to be able to openly discuss your belief and discuss in a way that your partner can understand. Be able to pray together. That's important. Now I've had to get used to it, because Cece was like, let's pray together. I'm like, now we got to do this again. Now I no longer feel this way. Let's pray together. I'm already on my knees and be ready to go.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm the one leading prayers these days.
Yeah.
And I'm finding out I can really put words together. Now, I'm no expert, but if I need to ask God for something, I'm no longer stumbling on the words.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I agree. And the thing is, with communication is the key. And as you were saying, that is something that we mention a lot on the podcast. And of course, that's the way God communicate with us, through the Bible, or, of course, his words. And of course, when we talk about certain things, I'll throw some Bible verses at you, or I'll just throw something at you and I have no idea where it is in the Bible. And I'm one of those people where it's great to have a partner who makes you want to learn and wants to do more, wants to know more about the Word of God. So listen, I truly feel like when you both share the same beliefs, that's also another great thing too. Yeah. Because if you were not, that guy
or a God-fearing person,
it would have been hard for me to move forward.
Yes, and I'll have a hard time listening to you. Listen, most of our conversation in this house is faith-based or Bible-based. There's always some sprinkle of words being put in everything that we do. And believe me, there's many times that we'll run into things and we'll be like, what would Jesus do?
Right. WWJD.
Yes. So,
okay.
So, it's important to make faith a daily thing. Mm-hmm. A daily practice in your life, because we live in a world where relationships are being made or being formed through swiping left or right. Tender people,
Well,
yes,
we're not judging. However, that's not the way. I don't think that's the way God would want you to go about. But at the same time, there's people that it works for them. It works. They do find their partner through the swiping, know.
And listen, I have
ChristianMingle.com. I'm pretty sure. I only know that website because I used to listen to it a lot.
Yeah. Now, listen, I have nothing against how people meet. I think some of these things is just a channel that becomes available for people to meet through. It's after you meet, how do you continue? How do you move forward?
Right.
You and I could have met on Tinder. But once we make that connection and we share our values, because I don't think and listen, I haven't used these things, but I don't think that you just meet on Tinder and everything stays on Tinder. You do get to meet in person and really get to know this person and become, see if you're a good match, or you may just, hit it off and then you go about your own ways and nothing else happened. But at the end of the day, I think as we get into relationship, we have to learn to navigate it and make sure that we stay true to what's important to us. And since we talk about spirituality, you got to make sure that you're not fulfilling your spiritual values.
Right.
So stay true to those and make sure that you can communicate those openly to whomever you are with. I
think being intentional is the key. Okay. Also, being intentional about the kind of connection you are looking for. Okay. I think those are very, very much important. Like, you may find a partner who's not about what you are about, right? And I think you also have to set your boundaries. That's very important. That aligns with your values, with my values, and not compromising on what truly matters to us, spiritually speaking. Because you could find someone on Tinder, on Christian Mingle, on whatever other else, site there is. Other site, blackpeoplemeet.com. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But you may find someone that may have good potentials, but they're not all about what you're all about. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's important for you to really, really, really be intentional about what you're looking for. And it's also, we live in a world where things are so pretty much fast paced, right? Everything is like go.
Yeah.
I find you today, we get engaged tomorrow, we're married the next day. I mean, come on, slow down. Because if she is yours, he ain't going nowhere and she's not going anywhere. If this is someone that you truly feel like has all your things that you have. Checked
everything off your checklist.
Yeah, spiritually speaking too as well. So, like I did it this man for 5 years, Listen, 5 years, we're not going anywhere. So we might as well wait until the wedding. So I think that's important for you to have those boundaries and not just be with someone for the sake of the looks and whatever else they have. I always say this, put God first, especially when it comes to dating someone, especially if you are planning on spending the rest of your life with that person. It is the key for you to know that, hey, I am dating this person. I'm not, especially if you're like a young millennials or Gen Zs. If you are still in your 20s, it's good for you to be intentional, not just playing around. Be intentional about what you are looking for. Don't just date anyone.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You should.
Yes. And I want to say this before I move on. We also need to address the elephant in the room.
What are you talking about? Social media.
Social media. The elephant in the room is social media, right?
Yes.
If I asked you this question, I'm pretty sure you have an answer for me.
Oh, I will make up an answer for you.
How do you feel like it has an impact on, godly love?
Well, let me say this. Listen, social media serves its purpose. And in some ways you can look at it. Social media could be what they call a double-edged sword when it comes to God. It's a great way to connect people. Social media puts people together. It allows you to connect with people on the other side of the world, and you can hold real-time conversation. But at the same time, it amplifies things to a point where it can cause issues, meaning that not everything you see in social media is real. And sometimes people take what they see in social media and they try to emulate them. They try to make their life like it, not knowing that this is just a make-believe. Sometimes people use social media to compare their current life.
Right.
Because when it comes to relationship, people can see this couple is doing this, that couple is doing that, and they start thinking, I should be able to do this, I should be able to do that. And before you know it, they're comparing their life with that make-believe life they see on social media. Yeah. So it's important to put social media in its place. You can even use social media to find that person. And then when you find that person, make sure that you focus on building a real life with this person, or a real relationship. But don't use social media as the benchmark as to how your relationship should run. Just be mindful of how you're using social media. Don't let it dictate how you live your life or how you build your relationship. Listen, I've known many people that does Bible sessions in social media, and some of them are real good. In fact, I followed a number of people that preach on social media. There's a lot of things we can learn about God in social media, but we do have to make sure that we be very mindful as to what role we let social media plays in our relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially when it comes to comparison.
Yes, I agree. And also just make sure that they know that you are a religious person. You can look good and you are connecting on social media with friends and other people that you may not even know. And if they know that, hey, this girl is very spiritual, she's all about God and business. So once you happen to meet that person, make sure they know that you are about what your social media said.
Yeah.
So if you are godly businesswoman, make sure you are that when you happen to meet the person that you are trying to connect with. So yes, I agree.
Yeah. So what advice would you have for someone who's looking to cultivate, to build a godly relationship?
Well, I would definitely say is to trust the process. Trust the process, embrace the unique path each relationship, of course, takes. And of course, stay true to who you are, stay true to your values, right? Because I did trust the process. Yeah. If I would say that to my young self, and I am raising two daughters, is to trust the process. And the other thing I want to say too is to surround yourself with supportive people. Okay. Like your friends and family, your communities, your people that you can trust, not just anybody.
Okay.
People that you can trust. And at the same time, you have to remember it is a journey and it's something that you want to make sure that you have no regret You don't want to have any regret. You don't want to date someone and you're like, man, I wish I know not to bring this so-and-so into my friend's life or my family or whatever. So trust the process. It is so important. I think everything that we do in life, we really have to trust the process and embrace who we are. I'm always telling not my daughters, but my girls, the kids at the church,
Okay.
when I was very much so involved, which I am back, was, do you, boo. Trust who you are. You are that one individual. You are very unique. You need to know that. You need to know that you are capable of doing more than what somebody else may think that you're not capable of doing.
Yeah.
So,
and one thing I must say, we can't ignore that it can be a challenge.
Of course.
And because there's a lot of pressure in this world.
Yes.
Pressure to conform with what's considered the norm in society.
Right.
And I know there's many people, that's one of the biggest things they have to overcome, is that there's certain things that's expected of you, and there's certain things that you have to do, and there's certain things that's considered normal.
And it can be a lot.
It can be tough to stay true to your values because there's a lot of external influences that will push you in a number of different directions.
Yeah.
And I know one thing, that sometimes people that are coming up, sometimes they're afraid that they may be missing out if they're sticking to their values.
FOMO.
And they believe that, FOMO. So they believe that if I don't get with the program,
right,
I'm being left behind. So, sitting and stay true to the process, stick to our values. It's not easy to do. However, it pays major dividends in the end if you do, because you get to maintain your integrity, you get to maintain your faith, you get to maintain your belief, you get to maintain your sanity by not going with what everyone else is doing. Believe me, typically whatever's popular is usually not the best for you.
It's not, and it's only for a short period of time.
Yes.
If you look at it, a short period of time. Do what you got to do. Just do you. Focus on you.
Yeah.
Apply pressure on you, not the world.
Challenging or not,
yes,
do your best to stay with the norms.
Yes.
And I know for guys, it may be a lot easier. For ladies, it can be more challenging because sometimes I feel like society pushes harder towards ladies when it comes to relationship than they do guys. Believe me, society has been very forgiving to us. Things that we do, they just say, it's just a guy's, no big deal. There's things that happen to a girl, man, they will crucify you.
They will crucify you. It's just so weird that a man can be with as many women as he wants to, right? And he's a man. Yeah. But you a girl, you with like 10, 15.
They have a name for you.
They have a name for you. So the rock is a lot heavier on our shoulders than men. So
listen, these challenges can be overcome, but it requires you to have a strong foundation and a community that supports you.
Yes.
And it's important to find people that thinks like you, people that believes in you. And this is what's important. If you're a spiritual person, surround yourself in a community where there are like-minded spiritual person as well.
Right.
Because these people will be there to support you and encourage you when you're running into these challenges.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And believe me, if you stay within the circle of spirituality, you would find a spiritual man or a spiritual woman.
Yes.
That's where they hang out.
Well, yeah.
Sometimes spiritual people can be weird because they don't tend to go with what's considered the norm.
Spiritual people are very introverted.
Not necessarily.
They are.
Not necessarily. I think
because all they do is stay home and read the Bible.
No. When you believe in God, when you trust in God, when you fear God, and when you understand what God's purpose is for you, there's a lot of things that are happening in this world. You don't care about them. You don't go crazy over them because you know better.
You do better.
Yes. People can't easily influence you and make you do things that you don't want to do because you know better. So yes, you may not be the hottest or the most popular person at the party, but you have your reasons. And that's fine.
Yeah.
So yes, if you hang out with spiritual people, you'll find your spiritual person. But yeah, to overcome these challenges, as I mentioned, it's good to have a supportive community. Yes. And you always find support with people that thinks like you.
Yes, it's true. So if you are a godly person and you are looking to have a relationship, especially this year, you know, to have someone like a serious person, you definitely need to have that someone needs to be a spiritual person.
Yeah, I agree with you. So on the final thoughts, what would you leave our listeners with today? Like any major takeaways?
I'll say embrace the journey.
Okay.
Because it is a ride. It is a ride. Because God is going to test you.
Okay.
Test your faith. Test your journey. Yes, it is a ride.
All right.
Yes. Because building a godly relationship takes time, patience, and effort. And as I mentioned earlier, you need to trust the process. Trust the process. Don't let social media take away what you truly believe in.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let society tell you otherwise. And of course, remember who you are and not let other people tell you otherwise. And of course, you know, sometimes even if you are doing it alone, it's okay because you're not alone. Because God is always with you. And if it's someone that you've been praying for, just remember, if God sees your heart, He'll have that person for you.
So, you know, like Sissy says, stay true to the process. You know, keep praying God, keep asking for strength so you can succeed in your quest to that godly relationship. So with that said, we thank you guys for joining us on the Blissology Podcast today. We hope this episode has inspired you and guided you on your journey towards your godly relationship. Don't forget, we release a new episode every Saturday morning. Make sure to subscribe and share and leave us a comment.
Like.
Many comments. And yes, do like. We appreciate that. Now, until next time, stay blessed.